Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumors that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Ali AI. Start your free trial now.
Well, I'm not going to be fighting anyone today, so please. Hi, everyone. All right. So today, we're going to focus on one thing, and just one thing. But first, let me give you a brief history about myself. I used to be a customer care representative in the past. And interestingly, I wasn't so excited about the job then. And I took some time to think about it. Why was I feeling this way? How did I even feel? Then I felt I was being overwhelmed, and I also felt helpless. The reason why I said that was because I got a whole lot of information, got a whole lot of data every day, and I felt I wasn't using it. Yes, I would push the complaints to the next level of resolution, but I just felt I wasn't using it. Then, I used to feel helpless because you would find people send emails and call over and over for the same inquiries and the same complaints, which they would have just gotten, and if they had gotten it online, they just needed to move to the next level of customer journey. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Folashade Uba. I am an SEO analyst and I work at Maersk. I'm really excited to be here today. Today I'm going to be talking about analyzing customer insight, unleashing SEO potentials from support queries, which could actually be an oversight for us as SEOs. Let's get started. All right, this is another typical example of what I meant. I'm such a lover of big television screens, and earlier this year I was looking to buy a 98 inches TV. Well, you'd have expected me to know what the length and the breadth is in actual measurement that I would understand, maybe use a tape to get the centimeters. Because I've got a media wall, I really want to know how is it going to fit into that media wall. Okay, I really would have loved somewhere on the website that said this, really, or that told me this measurement. Going forward, the product details were there, but a couple of things were missing. Because I was really interested in television, I started to realize that there are different types of television. There was the QLED, there's the LED, there's the OLED. I would have really loved somewhere on the website that explained this to me. Really, I really wanted that. And obviously, if it explained it, it should be linked to the product page, right? I would have just clicked on it and moved forward. Well, I was so nice, I didn't bounce off the website immediately. I actually filled their contact form because the price was really good for me. Filled their contact form, was expecting a response, but who can guess what happened? Before they got back to me, I found another website and I purchased from them immediately. Another reason why we should have informative and valuable content. Because if I see what I want, I'm just going to purchase. I'm not going to waste time, or I'm not going to go somewhere else, really. Okay. All right. So remember, I used to be a customer care representative, and I always thought, what do I do with customer insights? The fact that I had all this information and I wasn't using it made me feel some sort of way, really. Then, obviously, over time, I pivoted to digital marketing and to SEO, but I still had it in mind. What do I do with customer insights? And I came across this book by Eli. Very interesting book. It's actually one of the good books I've read in SEO. And one of the things that Eli mentioned was he explained how you could leverage customer insights in your SEO efforts. As soon as I saw this, it resonated with me so well because I always wondered what to do with it. All right, I thought to put this quote here, and it's very apt. It's something we should always put in mind. It's important to remember that your website is not about you, it's about your visitors and their needs. It's by Derek Halpern. I loved the quote. Because at times we forget it, that it's not really about us. It's about those that we want to purchase or that we want to convert. Derek actually goes ahead to mention that everything that you do on the website should create some sort of value to the customers. And by doing this, you're on your way to getting them to convert. of sales. Really true. I think we should always put that in mind. Okay, so why should we care about this as SEOs? Why is it going to be important to us to think about this? First things, we need to understand customers' needs and their pain points. How are you going to provide value if you don't know what my concerns are concerning your product or your service? I'm sure everyone understands that. By doing this analysis, first thing you do is actually to get their pain points, to understand what annoys them, what's their concern about this product or service that I sell. Second thing is to do the keyword and the topic discovery. An interesting thing happened here yesterday. Ellen mentioned in our presentation how our company used to think that customers thought used phones were called pre-owned phones. And they did some analysis, and they found out that customers really preferred refurbished phone as a term. And they did the change on the website, and they exponentially saw results. I think that it is important for us to look at what the customers call our product or service, or terminologies that are associated with our product or service, and we start to imbibe them. And the topic discovery, we're going to still talk about that. But yes, you start to find out, okay, these topics are interesting. You start to categorize them and start to talk about them. We're going to look at that in future. Okay, improve search intent. I want you as a customer, if you went on Google on a search or a search engine, and you imputed what you really wanted, I want you to find my content. I want it to be easy for you. I want my content to be top of mind. So I'm looking to find out, what are you going to put on Google or search engine? What's your concern? All right, who remembers the story I just said? I would have bought the television if I saw what I needed. Yeah, a couple of other information was missing there, but I really would have got that TV at that spot. But they didn't have the information that I needed. Then I went with another seller before they responded to me. So obviously, we're going to reduce bounce rate, and we're going to get conversion, which we all want. That's all what we want at the end of the day. All right. Yeah, this could be controversial for us as SEOs. SEO used to be a race to the top of the ladder board. Well, it's still a race. We all want to be on page one. We all want to rank first. But now, it's actually about building a user-friendly map that guides customers directly to the solutions that they need. I think this is important to note. Yes, you can still sell your product. And I thought about an instance this morning. If I came on your website and you explained something that concerned me, concerning your product or service, and you just down below, you put a product page for me to click through, you have answered my question. I'm just going to purchase. Because what am I looking for? What else am I looking for? So I think it's important for us to think about it. Give them solutions. Yes, we want them to convert, but give them something that is valuable to them if you actually want to get something from them. All right, so now we've got all these customer feedbacks from different points. Your forms, your emails, your calls. What is next for us to do? Okay, so I got this data set from Google.com. It's a publicly available data set that you could actually play with and do the analysis. But first, I just wanted to ask, who else actually gets scared when they have like big data or large data set to analyze or to look at? That happened to me a whole lot. Yes, I'm an analyst, but before then, I used to actually feel that way. Then I started to understand it. What do I look out for? All right, so for this analysis, we're going to use machine learning, and machine learning in the sense that either you use Python or R, but it's important to know that you can use it with AI, provided that you understand what to do, which I'm going to explain, and you can use, you have the right prompts to generate what you need. All right, let's get started. This is the fun part for me, though. So first, we're going to be analyzing, if we're doing this analysis, first things I want to get first is customers' pain points, because that's my motive. I want to uncover search intent. And lastly, I want to discover themes and patterns. All right, so this is a picture of the data frame. And it has 2,300 rows, and we have 9 columns. But because remember, I'm just looking for the pain points first, I'm just going to focus on the review body because it has the complaints and the inquiries that I really need. Okay. All right, so first I'm going to do sentiment analysis. And I'm doing that because I'm still finding the pain points. But a lot of things goes behind sentiment analysis. There's something called the tokenization. It starts to look at the words and it breaks it down and starts to put sentiments behind the word and looks at the context of the word. So we can see that it starts to give you positive, negative, and so on. But remember, you just need to know the steps because you can also do it on AI if you're fine with that. But I'm also going to explain why I would prefer to use machine learning in the future. All right, so this is a pretty good data set. They've got positives, 2,000 plus, they've got negatives. But you should note that you can do something with the positives. You can use that as a USP. You can let customers know that I'm good at this because your customers are already telling you what you're good at. So just put it in your content, let others know what you're good at, and enjoy. So for the negatives, I'm focusing on the negatives because I'm looking at the pain points, focus on the negatives. So I got the negatives sentiment categories, and moving forward, I start to do something called the parts of speech tagging. And what parts of speech tagging does is that it breaks down, just like tokenization, it does something called lemmatization. It breaks down these words, right? It takes them to their root words and starts to put them in their parts of speech categories. And an interesting thing happens here because it tries to, when it breaks it down, it tries to understand the context. Because you find out that there are some words that are verbs, but they're also nouns. So it really needs to understand the context before it puts them in their parts of speech. These are the parts of speech I'm focusing on. And we can see what I came up with. I can see uncomfortable, long, adjective, adverbs, and verbs and nouns. I'm just focusing on this now. All right, I'm still looking for the pain points, right? I'm going to do another sentiment analysis on these words that came out, right? And I start to find out that I've got poor, I've got uncomfortable, bad, terrible, and so on. Okay, then I do something really interesting here because I find out that people are uncomfortable. So what makes them uncomfortable? I'm trying to dig deep. I really want to know what makes them uncomfortable. Then I start to look for the frequent words before uncomfortable and frequent words after uncomfortable, right? It looks at all the data frame and looks at words associated with uncomfortable and start to bring out this to me. I see seat, cramped, and a whole lot. I do the same thing for terrible. You can do it for as many as you want. Just understand what to do and do it. All right, another way I could do that is, okay, I've got terrible. What else can I do? I can filter into the data set and try to understand. If it's not so many, maybe 5 rows or 10 rows, I can read through to understand, okay, why do they feel terrible, right? But imagine if you've still got large data sets. Maybe you have 100 rows. What do you do with that? You can do something called text summarization. Try to summarize it to get the main point out of it. All right. Here, I'm going to focus on things, not strings. That means because I want to get concrete reasons why they are reaching out. I want to get words and what part of speech is associated with things. Obviously, it's nouns. Then I start to look at the top 100 nouns to understand it. Okay, it's still a lot. What do? I do something called topic modeling. And what topic modeling does is I semantically clusters these words. It gives you clusters or categories that have similar meanings. So it's important to note that because now I'm looking for the patterns also. All right, so now we see some of them. We can see the blue, we can see the green, and so on. Most of these things actually have semantic relationships. Yeah, obviously this one is quite far away from that one, and you can tell. Okay, so what next do I do with that? Then I start to come up with themes. I see that a lot of people are asking for themes around airplane, flights, meals. Okay, now it's beginning to make sense to me, right? Just to dive down, I've got airplane, and I put a couple of things around, a couple of words that came up with that. Boeing, aircraft. For the meal, I've got wine, food. You can see the things that people are asking for, right? You can actually see them, right? But this airplane, meal, they could also be themes, right? Comfort. I've categorized them during my topic modeling. All right, so I did the syntax thing, and one thing that you can know is that in a sentence, if you're trying to look for a user's intent, when you combine a verb and a noun, it actually gives you user's intent in that sentence, right? Another thing you can do also is to combine adverbs with adjectives. It gives you some sort of sentiment behind the words, if you really want to understand it. Okay, so now I did the verbs and the nouns here, and I've got connect flights, I've got flight business. I've got cancelled flights. And I've even got how many times people ask for it. So is it telling me something? It's telling me that a lot of people are asking for this, right? Okay, and I have questions around this. All right, so that's the analysis for now. Why would I use machine learning and not AI? Personally, apart from the fact that it is fun, it's also, if you've got data sets that you don't want to share with the public, if you've got private data set that you don't want to share, you can use machine learning. But remember the steps. You can also use AI to actually do these things if you'd prefer to do that. Okay, and yeah, you could try different things, but yeah. And when I say AI, I mean Perplexity AI, ChatGPT, or if I said machine learning, I meant Python or R or anything you would prefer. All right, now we've got all this. What do we do with the insights? How are we going to use it? Develop new content pieces to fill the gaps. You remember Terrible? When I looked into the data set, some of the reasons why people were contacting them about that was because of seats. Some people would say, oh, it's so crampy, it's so tight. But what can I do? Yes, there are some complaints that you would move to the next level of resolution, but there are some complaints that you could actually solve with your content. It's possible that you could actually be more explicit about how the seats are. It's possible that you could say, oh, what's the leg measurement? When you sit down, what's my arm measurement? So I would know what I really want to go for. Be more explicit with that. Also, it's possible that you already have content addressing some of these things. So start to optimize your content to address them. So in a case where you find out that, oh, I have a content already talking about these things, now you can add more to your content. Remember that one of the main things to do for us as SEOs is actually to renew our content. It helps organic visibilities. So start to renew it, but how do you renew it? Get insights from all of this analysis that you have done, right? And start to impute some of the answers in your content. Also, it's possible that you already have the content, but you could also diversify your content. What if you only had it in blog? What if you could explain to them better in videos? What if you could show them in videos or in pictures, diversify, and understand what your customers really want? All right, incorporation of keywords into existing content. Remember that you could find out that there are some keywords that you did not used to use in your content. And because of this analysis that you have done, you now understand, oh, people call it this. People actually use these words in association with this product or service. And I also gave an example of the refurbished as against pre-owned. So you think about that and start to use the words that your customers use and that they understand. Leverage social medias. Yes, now we all know that we should actually have social media accounts and interconnect most of our activities as SEOs on this. So if you've got a large following, or you've got questions in your DMs, or you've got lots of comments around a topic, just pick it up, start to answer it with your content. Take those answers and take it into your SEO. Use it in your content. It's very important to do that. Utilize structured data. Now you've got topics. It's interesting to note that in that analysis, a lot of people were asking about things around airplanes. Interesting, right? They want to know what kind of airplanes, they want to understand things around the airplanes. So start to create topics, have pages that explain some of these things. This analysis helps you to go deep into the content, right? So you can start to explain, use your H1, use your H2 to mention some of these keywords, meta descriptions, just explain it. Let them understand it. All right. Enhanced local SEO. This is important because if you've got a large website, you could actually find out that some people send you questions in a different language. Maybe if your website is in English, some people send you questions in a different language. One of the things that the topic modeling would have done for you was also to categorize the languages that were not English in a separate cluster. This is important because you can translate your website to those languages. Also, you can also let you know, oh, I've got customers in this region. Then, what can you do? You can work on your local SEOs in those regions or in those countries. So it's important to do this analysis. All right, so my time is almost going. Remember that we said that today we were going to focus on one thing, and just one thing. That one thing is our customers. I put this key takeaway here because I know that it could be controversial for us as SEOs. But the truth is that content is not king. You want your customers to buy from you. That's why we're actually doing it. The end product, yes, we want awareness and all that, but the end product, we want them to actually buy from us. Then our customers are kings, not content. That's my opinion about that, though. Designing content tailored to their needs and problems will guide them smoothly towards conversions. So the truth is that we want to actually focus on our customers. In everything that we do on our website should be centered around them. Thank you. Please, if you've got a different perspective or opinion, just connect with me on LinkedIn.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.